So, techno guys, by this time you must have gone through the video lecture on Lighthouse project at Rajkot, where customized tunnel formwork system is being used to enable shear wall construction. In the e-module, we have also given you enough reference material in form of audiovisual films, lectures, presentations, books, performance certificates, circulars, etc. And it is strongly recommended that you must go through them and use them frequently as and when required. This collection of reference material at one place is unique, as you won't be able to get this information anywhere else. So please keep a copy of it. Having gone through the lecture, there must have been several doubts, questions in your mind about the innovative construction system that is tunnel formwork. In order to answer your queries, what I have done here is based on my experience and interaction with the stakeholders at various platforms. I have created a section of FAQ in form of this PPT, which I'm going to present to you now. Most of the questions can be broadly divided into following areas: cost, structural performance, functional performance, joint and connections, design aids, addition and alterations, maintenance of services, and capacities in terms of professionals. I will deal each one of them through one slide, but before that, let me just give you briefly the statistics of this project. Here, the technology, as I told you, is monolithic concrete construction using tunnel formwork. We call it monolithic concrete construction because tunnel formwork enables shear wall construction, which are connected monolithically. Number of houses being built here are 1,144 in a structural configuration of steel plus 13 stories. So overall 14 story. The project cost is 118.9 crore. The first and foremost question comes to mind is about the cost, that how this cost will get compared with the conventional cost of construction. Now, let me tell you here, this technology, monolithic concrete construction or customized formwork using aluminum formwork or this kind of tunnel formwork is already mainstream in India, and there is a lot of demand in the sector. In the private as well as public as well as in government sector to construct buildings, structures and infrastructure using customized formwork system. So technology is mainstream, and that is the reason this technology is cheaper as far as initial cost of construction is concerned than the conventional cost of construction. If I have to tell you the awarded cost of the project, the LHP at Rajkot, as per awarded cost, the per flat cost, including infrastructure, is 16.89 lakh as compared to 17.73 lakh with conventional technology, which is 39% cheaper. It is 10.89, not 16.89. So it's 39% cheaper cost we are getting, and that is the strength of innovative construction system. Once they are mainstream and once there is sufficient demand, then the cost will go down like anything. As I told you, several lakhs of houses are being constructed, whether you talk about the state of Andhra Pradesh, or you talk about Maharashtra, or you talk about UP, or you talk about Gujarat. Everywhere agencies are using this customized formwork for construction of larger dwelling units as well as a small number of dwelling units. So we can say that this technology is very popular. However, let me again re-emphasize that the cost also depends on the size of your project, geoclimatic profile of the region, soil strata, the factory, nearness to the factory setup, and other things as well. Now, there is another important aspect of this tunnel form technology is because it's a shear wall construction, the structural requirement of reinforcement and concrete is reduced. So instead of conventional thickness of 9-inch wall, the thickness is reduced to 4.5 inch or 5 inch. Thereby, you have less requirement of reinforcement as well as concrete. And another important thing is that you get more carpet area for the same built-up area. So it is cheaper Number one. Secondly, for the same built-up area, you get more carpet area, so more movable space within the dwelling unit using this kind of technology. Also, the formwork, which is a customized formwork, and this is a formwork which when used after that, you strip the demold the formwork, and once the project is over, it is given to the agency. Another advantage with this formwork is that it is recyclable. So it is taken back by the manufacturing agency, the agency who is supplying you this formwork, and with a salvage value of 40%. So that is another advantage of this construction technology. Also, in addition to this tunnel formwork, aluminum formwork, there are several variants which are very popular the world over, and especially being used for high-rise structures, for casting mass concrete, for for doing large slabs, large span bridges, and all these things it can be used. And those forms are slip formwork, which can be used for very high-rise structures. Jump formwork, table formwork can be used for construction of large slabs, and it enables very fast construction. In fact, using tunnel formwork, within 2 to 3 days you can construct a floor. Similarly, with aluminum formwork, also within 2 to 3 days you can construct a dwelling unit. Also, at the same time, because the construction takes place in a sequential manner, you first put the formwork, then you lay the reinforcement case, then you do the concreting in a single pour. Then next day you remove the formwork, take it to another floor. So it's a sequential manner. So resource efficiency is achieved. This kind of systems enables resource efficiency, because at the site, when you are doing, the site is clean, and all the materials are being used in right quantity, and so it is environment friendly as well as energy efficient. Embodied energy as compared to conventional one is less here, and it of course enables faster construction, which means the dwelling units infrastructure can be handed over pretty fast, and issues like cost escalation will not appear. Next comes to structural performance. So there is no doubt about it. Over the years, how conventional construction performed during earthquakes, it has been found that shear wall construction is better, and this tunnel formwork system enables shear wall construction. And shear wall, as all of us know, are better as far as seismic resistance is concerned. Number one. Secondly, being casting of wall and slab being done in a single pour using high performance concrete, proper cover and dimensional accuracy means the structure is monolithic, without joints, and durable. And being without joints, there are no problems of leakages, and there is less maintenance. And when there are less joint, means less maintenance, means less leakages, means the structure is durable. So it enhances durability as well. And as I told you, shear wall construction is a perfect system for ensuring structural integrity and much superior structural performance. It is quite good as far as lateral load resistance is concerned. Also, nowadays, sophisticated structural analysis tools are available. These softwares or computer design tools, along with the efficient design practices, will further help ensuring better performance during service life of structure. All said and done, any technology, when need to be translated into the field, need to be supplemented with good workmanship, good quality control and assurance measures, and proper execution. If we don't have good workmanship, quality control and assurance, and proper execution, no matter whatsoever technology you use, performance will not be up to the mark. Functional performance, there are a number of questions being raised when we talk about aluminum formwork, because these are pure RCC construction, thin wall construction, and there are a lot of doubts in the minds of stakeholders, especially architects and engineers, that being thin wall, the thermal efficiency will be very poor, and India is the country, the hot and dry climatic regions, so we won't be able to have a comfortable environment inside. So let me introduce our concept of thermal mass here, because it's being a mass concrete structure, so it's primarily concrete and a mass concrete. So this mass concreting it has high capacity to absorb, store, and release heat. So it absorbs the heat and it releases it slowly. This capacity is known as thermal mass, which enables building to store heat. and because it stores heat and absorbs it, so it's a kind of inertia. It provides inertia to temperature fluctuations. So because of the thermal mass, the thermal efficiency is improved. Number one. Secondly, most of the heat comes from the slab. So if the slab means roof or a floor, so if we treat our floor properly and if we provide a proper thickness floor, half of the thermal problem related with thermal comfort can be eradicated. So because of the mass concreting, one thing is thermal mass. Secondly, if you have proper roofing system with sufficient good treatment, the thermal comfort is not a problem. And another thing I want to add here is because the majority of regions in India are hot and dry climatic regions, so it is always advisable to adopt passive measures for thermal comfort, to have proper orientation and ventilation in the project or in the building where you are doing. Also, sometimes it is advisable to have proper shading of the building by planting trees and shrubs, etc. Also, sometimes paint with good SRI, so solar refractive index, help in enhancing the thermal comfort. Second question comes about fire rating, because the walls are thin. 100 wall may not stand the fire rating for residential structures. So here we need to comply with the codal requirements in letter and script. So whenever we do this kind of construction, depending upon the uses of building and depending upon the thickness and reinforcement, the fire ratings are given in IS 456. So those fire ratings need to be complied with. So suppose you are doing it for residential building and you are making a dwelling unit, so fire rating of at least 1 to 1.5 hours is required. So for that 1 or 1.5 hour rating, if you are having a 100 wall, what is the reinforcement requirement that need to be complied with? So using those prescriptive codal requirements, you can achieve the desired fire rating. And being monolithic construction, absolutely there is no problem. The structure is durable, better structurally, monolithic and no leakages. So structure, the durability is enhanced. And it's like any conventional construction. When you do it with the RCC conventional construction, it is similar to that. So compatibility with the conventional finishing items such as door, windows, tile, plumbing services do exist here as well. Joint pin connections are absolutely no problem because it's monolithic concrete construction. But when you are doing it in seismic zone, India is a country prone to earthquakes, so and it is a shear wall design. So remember these two codes always: IS 456 and IS 13920 and IS 1893. And you need to design your shear walls based on IS 456 and 1893, and you have to do the detailing 13920. So 13920 has two options: whether you want to have ductile shear wall or other ordinary shear wall, and depending upon that you can do the ductile detailing. So proper ductile detailing of shear wall is very important to achieve monolithic construction. And detailing, ductile detailing means the spacing between the reinforcement, the kind of stirrups, the splices, the development length, and other things. And whenever we do monolithic construction using aluminum formwork or this kind of tunnel formwork, always remember wherever you have openings, there you have to provide additional reinforcement as per the detailing. So additional reinforcement and at doors, windows, and other openings. Also connection of because it's a tunnel formwork, so you are making the walls with this. So the other structural elements such as a staircase, sunshades, balconies need to be properly designed and connected to these walling system properly, and that can be done easily by connecting it through double bars and having sufficient development and lap length. So that is very important when we are working with this tunnel form or monolithic concrete construction. We need to have sufficient development length of reinforcement at critical locations. And critical locations are the locations where we are getting negative movement, or at joints where we are getting eccentricity or torsions. So all these places, continuity of reinforcement must be ensured, and by providing sufficient development length. Also, wherever stirrups are coming, because in order to have better, shear resistance capacity for lateral load resistance, we need to properly bend our hooks and stirrups to have monolithic construction of joints and connection. Also, it's a formwork system, and you need to lay the services and all. So after laying services, it is necessary to plug all the formwork holes with high performance concrete. Otherwise, they may become the sources of water penetration at a later stage. And the most important thing for joints and connection is design and detailing as per the codal provisions to avoid failure of connections in the future. Design aids, codal provision, schedule of rates. First of all, there are a number of softwares available through which you can model these kind of buildings, this kind of projects, and you can carry out any kind of analysis, 2D analysis, 3D analysis, linear, non-linear, static, eigenvalue, modal analysis, dynamic analysis, time history of frequency domain analysis. So they all softwares are user-friendly software, and with a little knowledge of engineering and softwares, you can model your the building in these softwares and do the structural analysis. And as regards codes, the whole lot of codes are available as far as Indian standards are concerned, and the main code for RCC construction is IS 456. If you are doing pre-stressing as well, then you have to use in conjunction with the IS 456 1393 is the pre-stressing code. Then for earthquake loads, 1893 is the code, and 13920, the ductile retaining code, is the most important code here if you want to have seismic resistance of the building. National Building Code is again the compilation of all the codes, so that need to be referred as well. The schedule of rate is already available. It has already been developed by CPWD, and it is readily available in Delhi schedule of rates. Also, let me also tell you, in case of Indian standard, non-availability of Indian standard, we can always refer international standards such as British Code PS or ACI, American Concrete or Euro codes, exhaustive Euro codes. And for new technologies, BMTBC also issues the performance appraisal certificate, and these certificates can also be referred if required for whenever we are implementing a new technology in the field. Just to give you a list of the codes, so for loads, there are IS 875, which comes in part 1 to part 5, and for earthquake loads, there is code 1893. Then for RCC, there are a whole lot of codes available. IS 456 is the most important code, and suppose you want to do concrete mixed proportioning, then 10262 is the code for concrete mix. And for foundation, here also we have conventional foundation, so it can either be raft, it can be deep foundation, or it can be shallow foundation. So for each kind of foundation, there are different codes which are being written here. As you can see, IS 1080 is for shallow foundation, and for raft foundation 2950 is the code for raft foundation. Addition and alteration, it is very difficult to do here addition and alteration because it's a shear wall design, shear wall shear wall construction of your structure. So, and it's a pure RCC construction, and so it is very difficult to break this RCC at a later stage. And if at all you want to add a new block in this, so you have to properly connect the old structure with the new through reinforcement. So you have to cut the shear wall, and the moment you start chipping off the shear wall or cutting off the shear wall, the dynamics of the structure change, the load transfer pattern gets changed, and that may endanger the structural stability. So it is advised that additions and alterations at a later stage need to be avoided. If at all it is of utmost importance, then it has to be done with the help of structural engineer, but it is going to be very expensive and time consuming. And also we have seen the alterations and additions being done without applying engineering judgment and without seeking help of the experts or retrofitting experts. They normally perform poorly during the future earthquakes, because by doing those alterations or additions, we change the structural behavior, we change the load transfer path, and also the structural integrity in monolithic action is compromised. Same is the thing with the services. It is very difficult to attend services at a later stage, but in case it becomes at most necessary, then it can be done with the help of experts and through SOPs, which is the standard operating procedures. So where to cut, how to cut, where are the holes through which you can see the service lines. It can be done under the supervision of experts. But as regards maintenance of services, it is always advisable to have regular preventive maintenance of your structure. And regular preventive maintenance means here is that we should regularly check the lines, the sewage lines, then water pipelines, then other conduits, water flow. We need to clean the roofs before the onset of monsoon. We have to clean the clogged drains, and all these things will help maintain the service during the service line. And nowadays, with the modernization and with the kind of material and specifications we have, whether it is sewage pipes or whether it is UPVC pipelines and all, if they are properly joined, there are no questions of leakages or malfunctioning at a later stage. So while laying maintenance, while laying services, always remember that it will be difficult to do the corrections or to do the maintenance at a later stage. It will be difficult. So proper workmanship and precise installation of services, including jointing, is very important at the time of construction. Capacities in terms of professional engineer workforce for share wall construction, of course, it can be done by a civil engineer, but when it comes to formwork systems and all, you require services of professionals, and we are doing concerted efforts at government level to build capacities as regards these new technologies. And we are also running a certificate course called Navriti in association with the School of Planning and Architecture, through which these new technologies are being taught in length, and so that they can use these information for their future projects. Also, the intent of this e-module for Technobrahi is to make you aware and sensitize you about the application and about the various nuances of these innovative construction system, which will help you build your capacities, and you can implement these new things in the construction sector in times to come. Also, the objective here is to get these innovative construction technologies included in the academic curriculum of universities. And once it comes in the academic curriculum of universities, then the fresh students and students of architecture and engineering, they will get the first-hand information about the technologies through universities, and that way we can enhance the capacities in India. Because this technology has already been mainstream, so there are a number of agencies who supply this formwork, and now even the regular contractors, they can undertake the work using these formwork systems. So requisite experience to execute larger scale projects is now available. However, you need to seek help of technology provider or the formwork manufacturer who will guide you about the formwork installation and its removal, and installing it to other floors and the things. Also, in the wake of Atmanirbhar Bharat and Make in India call by Honorable Prime Minister, a number of entrepreneurs, new entrants, startups, and industries are joining the construction sector, and in times to come we will have very healthy competition amongst all as regards these new construction technologies. Also, because it's a heavy formwork and you require a heavy equipment and machinery, so trained skilled workforce is required not only for construction purposes, but for handling the formwork, transporting it to the site, and for erection and assembly of formwork, then taking it out, taking it to the other floor. And it has to be done in a sequential manner, so supervision and skilled workforce is also necessary. And most of the agencies, they can impart on-site training to the manpower so as to make them skillful to undertake the project. Also, whatever unskilled labor is being employed at the site, they also require a little bit of on-site training when using these kind of technologies. So with this, I come to the end of this FAQ. I hope I am able to answer the queries which I came across. In case you have any other thing in your mind, or if you want to share something else or your experience with the technology, you do write to me on my email ska@bmpbc.org, and I would definitely be responding to you and try to clear your further queries to the best of my capabilities. Thank you very much.